Viewers, welcome back again. I was having a discussion with His Excellency Mr. Pankaj Saran. Let's continue. Mr. Saran, I would like to have a personal view of yours. As a diplomat, you have a very distinguished career. And should a diplomat make any kind of comments in a country where he's posted an internal one on the affairs of an internal affairs that you make a comment?
Well, I would say that the internal affairs of countries, especially countries which...
It's not directed towards you, by the way. It's in general.
Okay. Well, in general, my response is no.
Okay.
No.
Now, following that, while we are having very crucial meetings between the two alliances, the pro-government and the opposition groups are having dialogues, so many dramas are taking place behind the scenes, off and on. There comes a sideshow we saw. And the sideshow involved the US ambassador, yourself, and a third country, India. What had happened was you had very interesting breakfast meetings with the US, which might be normal in certain circumstances. But then the US ambassador flies off to Delhi for consultations. I have never heard yet between two countries, you and the government, the host country, would discuss that, but another ambassador gets involved and gives a press statement. Now, you might ask me that you should have asked him. The reason I'm asking is because you have been also very closely in touch with him. You have also flown off to Delhi and had discussion. And then when you guys got back, you said we are in the same page. Now, I don't know what was in the page. Just for the viewers, because it was very interesting. The people were, but nobody was talking. What's happening?
Well, I think this is shrouded in too much of kind of mystery and too many cobwebs here. I don't think it's actually as sinister as you are suggesting.
But it was dramatic, definitely.
Well, let me say that one of the jobs of an envoy in any country is, apart from being accredited to his host government, to also maintain relationships with his diplomatic colleagues in the diplomatic corps. And I think that is a perfectly legitimate, form of diplomacy which envoys all over the world practice and are engaged in. Now, insofar as my American colleague is concerned, I have great respect for him, and we do occasionally meet, as indeed I'm sure he meets other envoys and I meet other envoys. And the whole question in Bangladesh is naturally something which the international community is looking at.
Sure.
That is now quite evident.
Sure.
And anyone who has interest in the peace and stability and the development of Bangladesh would be interested in what is underway here.
Let me interrupt you. Did he have to fly off to Delhi to brief them, since you are here, the representative of that government? You two have been having chats, as you said that you are in close touch. Why this step? Was something urgent going on? Was something that personally he had to explain, and that to another government?
Well, really, this is a territory which I will not get into as to why he went to India. I think his embassy has issued some statements explaining.
We are on the same page. That's
I think they issued some statements about his visit to India.
Yeah.
And insofar as on what where we stand between us, I would say that at a very broad level, every partner, every development partner and well-wisher of Bangladesh is united in wanting to see peace and stability in this country.
Wonderful.
And my primary responsibility here as the representative of India is to ensure that I understand the concerns of Bangladesh. So for me, my primary objective is what is the level of understanding between India and Bangladesh. And this takes precedence over what I may or may not do with any other country. My objective is to ensure that as far as India and Bangladesh are concerned, that we perfectly understand each other. That means we understand each other at the level of the governments, and we understand each other at the level of the people. And that is my attempt, and that is my mandate. Everything else comes is secondary.
Now, while you guys are being extremely friendly, the US and the India, as far as Bangladesh is concerned, another incident took place recently, as you're aware, and it's in the news, everybody's talking about it. It's about the New York incident of your diplomat. I think now she has become a diplomat. Now, the reason why I want to touch it is that this is not the first time. In fact, if I recall, the former president, Mr. Azad, was also went through this kind of treatment. Then famous actor got through. Then now, these are all symbolic in many, many ways, that how the Indo-US relationship is there, how they treat their people. And in retaliation, I won't say use the word retaliation, I would say in reaction, your government took some measures, which people in this part of the world, they think that that was great. You see, in one way, you are extremely friendly. In another way, the Secretary of State has to call your government and say sorry. In diplomacy, you might say that these things work like that, but perception-wise, is everything all right between the two?
You know, this incident, which is very unfortunate, I think it is being handled both in Delhi and in Washington.
Right.
And I would prefer to leave it between these two capitals to deal with. It's a complex issue. I am not fully au fait with the facts of the case, but I do know that this issue had led to comments by our government, by our External Affairs Minister and other senior officials expressing their unhappiness. And I also know that this also came up for debate in Parliament in India and Delhi. So, but I also know that, and I understand that both the governments in the two capitals are engaged in discussion on how to move forward and to address the concerns that have arisen. Certain measures were taken, but I would be hesitant to pronounce on or to characterize the whole situation, except to say that the Indian reactions are pretty much in the public domain. And
which was seen very positively by many.
Right.
You know.
Well, but the fact also is that both India and the United States have a relationship. They have a strategic partnership. And I think at the end of the day, it's important that we move this relationship forward. But really, I would actually just leave it to the two capitals to decide.
No, I just wanted your personal observation on that. Now, another area I want to touch before I go for another break is I'll leave the questions to you so that we can get back to your response later, which is, Bangladesh has been extremely grateful to India for the role India played during our liberation war. And India has been a very good friend. We have had excellent relationship with you. But India, a lot of important visitors came over here, VVIPs came here, and they made commitments after commitments after commitments. And the perception over here is that no matter which government comes or which government is here, nothing has been delivered. And when I say nothing, I don't mean every single item, but there have been steps also which India took. But in majority cases, it's not there. People can't see it. And then they say that we are such good friends. The politicians are so cordial to each other. The ruling parties of both nations are extremely cordial. For example, the Tista deal, the land deal. And then, of course, you see, another one is the border killings. It continues. And no satisfactory explanation has come. When I say satisfactory, I mean visibly one could see that we have taken steps and it will not be done again. We'll take the response from you. after we get back from a short break.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Viewers, as you know that we are having a fascinating discussion with His Excellency Pankaj Saran. I have placed a few questions to him and we'll get back to him in a short while.